Hey, what's up? It's Phoenix and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I encourage you to hit that like button, to subscribe for more quality content from Phoenix, and to share with your friends. I encourage you to check out the playlist tab for more videos and to also check out my books. I'll put the link in the description below to my author page. And so without further ado, let's dive right into today's video. Now today I wanted to talk a little bit about a notion of grit, or something that I've been thinking about. I wanted to discuss difficult days and hard days, and I wanted to acknowledge that certainly we all have bad days. Certainly we have a day that makes us question life and that defeats us in some way, and sometimes we have a series of bad days or a series of bad months, hopefully not that long. But we have very difficult days, and it's very hard to know what to do with that sometimes. I have been thinking about the notion of impermanence and the notion of change, and how one of the reasons why life is painful is because of change. And what do we do with change? What do we do with these things that make our lives complicated and that don't stay the same? And it seems that one of the reasons why I myself have had bad days is because I think about impermanence, or I think about change, and I want things to be the way that they used to be. But often that's not how life is. There's a great song by 3 Days Grace where they talk about chasing the first time, and this is chasing the things that we think will last forever but that don't. And so impermanence is a very difficult concept. But I think one of the benefits of thinking about impermanence is thinking about how bad days do not last forever. So there is a kind of flip side to change, one of which is that it's painful, but the other side of which is that it helps us push through. It helps us push through the difficult things. And I will admit that I have had very difficult days in my life, and I haven't always known what to do. But one of the things I keep in mind over and over again is that that mental state, or that event, or that thought that I have is going to change. I don't know when, but as they say, eventually these things pass. And it's very important that we keep that in mind, that we're not going to be in these painful states of being forever. I also wanted to kind of philosophize on my idea of grit in terms of thinking about how we get through the days. Now, grit to me is something that I'm not sure that I have, but I would describe as being able to approach something with a kind of rough spirit. And maybe I have that to a degree, but grit is courage. Grit is the ability to be like, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to do these things that I need to do for my life and to be able to continue to get through difficult times. And it's a willingness to grab life by the horns, so to speak, and to make it do what you will. And I'll acknowledge that grit is a difficult thing to have, because it's so easy to feel as though we are at the whims of all of these things surrounding us. And while I don't want to get into necessarily a huge conversation on the idea of free will and agency and all of these things that we don't have control over, whether or not we actually have control over anything in life, that's a rabbit hole for another day. But I do want to say that one of the things that helps me through with thinking of that, with thinking of change and thinking of grit and an ability to push through, that's something that I believe in. I believe that we have to keep trying. We have to keep making it through. It is so imperative and important that we keep trying, and that we don't let life destroy us, and that we continue to push through. I've been through a lot of difficult things in my life, and I haven't always known what to do with that. And I will admit, sometimes I feel stuck. Sometimes I feel like there are things that aren't going to change, and it's very easy for me to have negative emotions on life. And one thing I've had to acknowledge is that those negative emotions still exist, and I have to be able to acknowledge them and not see them as bad and not judge myself for them. I also wanted to talk a little bit about notions of progress, which is related to all of these things that I'm expressing, that things do get better. And when people talk about progress, we could be talking about individual progress. So when I think about my goals to leave the world better off than I found it, when I think about improving myself in a continuous way and trying to be better than I was yesterday, and to try to be a kinder, more empathetic and caring person, to continue to be sensitive to the things around me. So that's individual progress. But I also do think, and maybe I'm optimistic, but I do think that things do get better in life, that we are able to improve the world, and that societies do progress. We may be often cynical of these ideas and not believe that things get better. Certainly with the advent of social media, we definitely see things that do not get better. And so it's very easy for us to think that things just continue to get worse. And what can I say? Life is tough. There's no easy way around all of the difficult dilemmas that we face, whether ethical dilemmas or even just personal dilemmas or conceptual and ideological dilemmas. All of these things, look, I'll admit, I don't understand life at all. There are so many aspects in life and so many things that I've tried to understand that I seemingly cannot. I don't understand why suffering exists in the world. I don't understand why I've gone through the things that I've gone or seen people that I love go through difficult things. I mean, all of these are very difficult things for me to try to understand and to grapple with and to wrestle with. And it can be very difficult to even know what to do sometimes. And so I admit, life is tough. And I don't always know what to do with that. But that's why I bring up my notion of grit, of thinking in terms of progress, of thinking in terms of we're determined and we're going to get through this and we're going to continue to push through and to make this world better in some way. And I really think those are valuable things. I really do work on myself to be a better person every day. I really enjoy engaging with literature and philosophy and even science, right? To be able to try to understand the world and to understand myself. I really very much want the world to be better off when I leave. And I'll acknowledge, as I've said, that life is very difficult. And we go through difficult times. I've had bad days recently and I haven't always known what to do with that. I struggle with various things in life. But we will get through. You know, we will get through. And we just have to keep reminding ourselves that we're strong and that we're capable and that we can do good things. I'm Phoenix, and I hope that you enjoyed this discussion. And I know that these things are difficult, but hang in there. We will get through this together. And I don't usually say this on my YouTube channel, but I love you and I care about you. And I mean that broadly. I care about the world. But I also care about my viewers. I appreciate you engaging with me, and I appreciate you enjoying my work. And yeah, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.